There are 11 people waiting.
All right, let's let everybody in.
Can you hear the birds?
In the morning, it was very loud, I recall.
I got to tell you a great story about one of the falcons on site.
Ah.
I think I have let everybody in. If everyone can just put themselves on mute for now, we are going to have a question and answer period at the end, and you're welcome to type any questions into the chat as well. But it'll be easier to hear Sam if everyone keeps themselves on mute.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I have to get on to a stand.
All right. I see one person has their camera on. Hello, Anthony.
Is that our friend Anthony Versillo?
It is.
Hello, Anthony.
And Monica. Hello, Monica.
Hi, guys.
Slowly coming in. I just want to make sure. And Maria, since you are a co-host, if you can keep your eye on the participants section and just admit anyone that comes in that you see as well. I'm going to try and keep an eye on it too, but they kind of pop up randomly and I might miss them. All right. If everyone can just mute themselves, and then we can actually probably just jump right in here. So thanks everyone so much for joining us today. I know usually
that's called the worry-free cancellation.
Usually we do.
There might be some blips. It's okay.
We do a Facebook Live, but we've been having some trouble with the Facebook Live stream. So we decided to just invite everyone into our Zoom room, and then we'll post the recording of this into the Facebook group when we're finished here. So once Sam starts talking about her Cancun experience, if you want, you can change your view to speaker view so that hers goes bigger if you want to see her beautiful background. But first, we're just going to share some exciting news before we jump into Sam's experience. We just got word today that we have extended our flexible cancellation policy. So it was for bookings up until August 31st of this year. We've now extended it to bookings up until September 31st of this year. So you still have lots of time to get those bookings in and still make use of that awesome flexible cancellation policy for your clients. All right, so let's jump right in. And we've also got Maria here. She's our MICE BDM as well.
Hello, everyone.
So if anyone has any groups questions or MICE questions, Maria is here, but we're going to jump right in with Samantha. So Sam is in Cancun right now. She's at Club Med Cancun, and I'm going to let her take the floor.
I'm in Cancun. I'm out of Canada. Can you believe it? Guys, it's surreal to be down here. It's absolutely amazing to be down in Mexico. And honestly, I'm super, super grateful to be here at Club Med Cancun, Yucatan. You can see my beautiful backdrop over here. I'm actually in the Agua Marina section, so I'm on my patio. I have one of our deluxe oceanfront family rooms. So this is one of the 2-bedroom suites here on the ground floor. Has a nice valley bed. We have loungers behind us, and then we have direct access to the water if we want to go out that way. So lots and lots to talk to you guys about today. And I think we should start off maybe with, let's start off with the experience and what it's like to travel from Pearson. I'm going to just switch my view. Hold on here one sec, guys. Okay, I can't switch it. It's fine. So traveling to Mexico, you do not require any sort of pre-departure COVID testing. You do not require proof of vaccination. We did decide to get antigen tests just to be safe. And then we also did have our proof of vaccine. Now, keep in mind that when you do come to Club Med, you do need to have your negative test, either PCR or antigen, or your proof of full vaccination. You will be asked when you get that when you get here to Cancun. just really quickly with the experience at the airport, bear in mind that obviously your masks need to be worn the whole time throughout the entire travel process. We did fly down on Air Canada. 3 hours was sufficient enough to be at the airport. We were able to get through security in no time. They were able to do all their checks, although there wasn't any additional screenings that we had to do. We just had to do an additional health screening when we checked in for our flights. Getting onto the flight itself, very much what we're all used to. There was not too much difference there. Again, major differences that you're wearing your masks the whole time. You got your clean care kits. And then, yeah, you just went well on your way from there. The only time we could take our masks off is if we were eating, and they did have full bistro service on Air Canada, so that was nice. And then arriving into Cancun, we went through customs. It was quite speedy. They just scanned our passports. We did have our entry, like you do have to fill in an entry questionnaire that again, everybody's used to. But there was also an additional questionnaire where you had to do it online before you got in, where you got a QR code. I assumed they would ask for this when we went through customs. We had it ready to go. We were approved entry, but they did not ask. So it might have been linked to our passports. Finally, once we're out of the airport, getting onto the Club Med transfer. So as soon as you leave the airport, don't stop where any of the taxi guys are, or where any of the porters are. Keep going all the way out of the terminal. You're going to have all the transfer companies just outside the front doors. You will see one of our greeters there with a Club Med sign, and then you will be taken to your transfer. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Once you're on the transfer, it is a small transfer. We only had myself and my husband, and we had another couple who was actually the daughter of another one of the CDVs who was out in Turkey. So it's nice to see that people are traveling. The airports were busy. The resorts, we are at our capacity. So right now we're at that 65 to 70% capacity. The resort is at capacity. People are coming down. As soon as we checked in, we were asked for, again, our proof of vaccination or proof of negative test. We gave those, and the check-in process was very easy. You get one of these. This is your bracelet. Can you guys see it? This is your key to the world of Club Med. So this opens your door. You can set up an account on it. If you're at the boutique, you can scan it, and then you can pay for your bill at the end of your trip. Once we got our room, like I said, we're in the Agua Marina section. This is the family section, so great for any of the larger families traveling together, as there are 2-bedroom options here and also deluxe rooms. And then you have the wonderful beach right behind us and the pool area just to the other side of me over here. That pool, it is open for everybody, although it is in the Agua Marina section. No matter where you are at the resort, you can come to this pool. Okay. Maybe I'll let you guys jump in. Is there any questions that are coming through that we can do a quick little Q&A at all? Or Maria, Janet, if you guys have any questions about the process?
No questions yet.
I got one actually.
Oh, Anthony.
Anthony.
Sorry, late there. Just in regards, you say you had to show either a proof of vaccination or a test at the resort. Is that little paper that you get from Ontario sufficient?
Yeah, so the paper that I had from Ontario that shows the second paper that you get that says you've had 2 full doses, that was sufficient to show to the resort. We also did a antigen test with a company called Switch Health before we departed. They're located just at the airport at Pearson. We got our test results in 15 minutes. They sent you a PDF copy of your negative test, and you could also show that. If somebody arrives here and they do not have proof of vaccination or proof of their negative tests, we will conduct an antigen rapid test once they're on site. So you really get that sense of feeling safe when you're down here. You know that other customers here had to go through the same thing that you had to go through. So all the GMs here have gone through that same process. So it almost feels like COVID isn't really there. It's kind of nice having this a bit more of a stress-free environment. Of course, in all of the main areas, so indoors, if you're in the buffet areas walking around, if you're walking in corridors and there's a lot of people, all the GMs and all the staff are being really respectful in the fact that you have to wear your masks, which is quite nice. Now, if you're on the beach, if you're swimming, if you're drinking, you're eating, you don't have to wear your mask in that case, but just be vigilant when you're out and about, you're walking around, you're in common areas. If you're at a bar, so let's say you're at the pool and you want to go to the bar, you have to wear your mask at the bar to be served. But to answer your question, Anthony, yes, that's fine to have the paper copy of the Ontario full vaccination record. Depending on what province you're in, you'll have different proof of vaccination. I know that some provinces may have handwritten cards, but whatever you can get that says that you're fully vaccinated, it'll be sufficient enough at the property. Awesome.
And Sam, are you seeing a lot of the hand sanitizer available around the property?
There's hand sanitizer everywhere around the property, mostly in the common areas. And then also every time that you're going into any of the restaurants, keep in mind that when you're going into the restaurants, you will have your temperature taken and you will have to sanitize. Temperatures being taken though aren't them putting a temperature gauge right to your head. It's more so of a scanner. So it's a little screen. It looks like an iPad. There's this camera at the top of it. And you look into it, it takes your temperature, and then it tells you if you're regular, if it's normal, or if it's not. So everyone has been totally normal. There hasn't been anything that I've seen where someone's been above that normal range. Hand sanitizer, yes, it's available everywhere as well. But yeah, so it's available in all the restaurants, in the common areas, by the pool. There's hand sanitizer everywhere for you to use.
And there
And
was a
Sam,
question. Oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
Are they cleaning your room every day, or how does that work with housekeeping?
You can, yep. So once we arrived, your room was completely sanitized. And you guys will see this once I post some more photos today. I'll post quite a bit today on the group. But you have a sanitized seal on your door and on your toilets in the room. That's your initial arrival. So the sanitization process takes 5 hours to do. Your room can get cleaned every day, or you can decide not to have it cleaned. So we have decided to have our room cleaned, and we were actually here yesterday watching them as they did the room. We were just outside on our patio, but it's very quick. They're making sure that they're sanitizing everything. If there's extra cleaning procedures, they're still doing all of the housekeeping protocol as they normally would, plus additional protocols when it comes to making sure that all surfaces are fully sanitized.
There was a question about how the masks work at the swim up bar, but there is no swim up bar at the Cancun property. Club Med actually doesn't have swim up bars except for one in the Zen Oasis area at Meaches. And as Sam said, you do need a mask at the standing up bars to be served. And there was a question about kids clubs. Are the kids clubs happening?
Yes, the kids clubs are happening. They're having a ton of fun from what we're seeing with the kids clubs. They're doing everything from trapeze to the archery, and they have amazing family games that are going on at the Algo Marina pool. There's all the kids clubs are operating and they're all running.
And tell us what you're doing tomorrow.
Today or today?
Or today? Did you say it was today? Today.
Today. So after this, I'm going to go snorkeling. So my husband and I are going to go snorkeling. We have the world's second largest barrier reef here at Club Med Cancun. And honestly, guys, when you're standing on any of the beaches, you're looking out into the water, you can actually see the reef and where the water is breaking onto the reef. There's one geo here. Her name is Christina. She's been here forever. She actually has a degree in marine biology. So she works out of the snorkeling palapa, I'll call it. So it's kind of nice because if you're in the water and she's working, she'll actually come in with you and she'll show you all the different types of marine life that are down there, the different coral. You can see like there's over 50 different types of animals you can see down there. And they're all posted there. Again, I have a photo I can post afterwards. So we're gonna go check that out today. It's one of our must-try experiences, and it is included with your package. And we will be able to get all of our snorkeling gear there as well. So from flippers to the masks to the snorkels, that will all be there. And yes, everything is fully sanitized when it comes to the snorkeling gear. And yesterday, actually, for on the topic of just water activities and water sports, we went sea kayaking and stand-up paddleboarding yesterday. So that was a ton of fun. There's double and single kayaks you can take out. You can go stand-up paddleboarding, or as my husband went, paddleboarding on his knees. Stand up the whole way. And there's also hobbycat sailboats. And the sailboats are awesome. You can take those out. There's a regatta that's happening today where there's going to be some races that are going on with GMs. And it's one of the best activities that you can do here. So definitely get in the water and take part in those water activities.
And are they sanitizing the water sports equipment as well after use?
Yes, every single one is being sanitized after use. They're pulling them out of the water, sanitizing them, and then putting them back in. So any of the equipment that's in the water that's hooked up, you can go ahead and use those. And anything they've brought out, they're sanitizing those.
And Steve wants to know when you're going to try the trapeze.
Oh, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll try the trapeze. But okay, so with the trapeze, the one thing that they are not allowed to do because of COVID, they can't do the catch and release. So you know when you're going on the trapeze and you're going to catch the next person and you go down, they're not doing any of that. From what we saw yesterday, it was the kids that were on it yesterday, but they're basically just going back and forth and falling. But you can go to the next bar if you want, or put your feet up. But we're gonna probably try that tomorrow.
And you're going to do that on Facebook Live?
That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny, I think.
I did
Let's
it on
see, I don't
Facebook
know.
Live at Turks. You should do it on Facebook Live in Cancun. And I failed miserably too.
We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot tomorrow.
I don't think there's any other questions coming through.
I know we addressed the kids club. What about the petite club? That's open too, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
the petite club is open as well.
Okay.
And it is in smaller groups. There's also the teen club that's happening. So Past World is going on. All the kids clubs are going from what I've seen, and when we did the site inspection yesterday, those are all happening. It's quite nice because the GOs who run the kids clubs, we've told you this guys many times before, but all our GOs speak at least 3 different languages. But it's interesting to hear the kids. Like there'll be a child that's speaking French and one that's speaking English, one speaking Spanish, and the GOs can communicate with each one of them. So it's very reassuring. Like I would be reassured if I had a child putting them into the kids club that, okay, they can communicate. They'll be able to be able to address everybody's needs, to have fun with them. There's that sense of safety and that sense of reassurance, and also knowing that your kids are having a good time. You can truly see it. Honestly, you can truly see that these kids are having a blast together.
How about the evening entertainment?
Yeah, so each evening there's been a theme night. So far we've seen a Mexican mariachi band in the evening. That was good. Last night, we didn't actually stay for the show, but the first night was the Mexican night. So with that night, there was a mariachi band. They did a kids show. There was also a market set up. So they brought in outside vendors that they set up a Mexican themed market. So you could go buy some of your trinkets from there. Last night was a black and glow party. And then tonight is the 45 and jeans theme. I'll check actually what the nightly entertainment is. But the cool thing is that when you're here, you can actually see all the daily activities on the Club Med app. So you can see exactly what's going on throughout the day, what exercise activities are happening, if there's any classes. the amazing family activities, and then also what the evening entertainment is going to look like.
Sam, can you talk about the the food experience in the buffet and serving on the small plate?
Yeah. So just before I get into that, so tonight we're going to have a cabaret show, which will be nice. So food, the buffets. In all of the buffets, there is glass set up in front of each one of the serving stations. Every meal is in single plated dishes. So if you're going to get guacamole, for example, it's not in a big, what's it called, a big bowl. Each one is going to be in a separate dish and they'll be handed off to you. You can also go ahead and order any of your own food. So if you want to order a quesadilla or tacos, or even what's really cool is they're making all individual salads. So you can go up to the salad bar and say, okay, you want mixed greens with this, that, and the other, and they'll make that all in front of you. There's not any real grab and go with sharing of utensils. So everything is in their own dishes and their own plates or bowls, and you'll grab those, they'll be given to you, and then you'll be taking those back to your table. But it's very marché style, as we've spoken about in the past. You don't have to worry about dishes being tampered with. Does that make sense? That they're not being tampered with, and that you know that each one has been safely handled and that it's been given to you and served to you.
In the chat, there's some questions about how are you feeling the overall atmosphere there, from guests to staff?
It doesn't even feel like we're in a pandemic. It really doesn't. It's a stress-free environment here. As soon as we got here, you kind of felt like a weight was lifted off your shoulders. Everyone's having fun. It seems as though the component of COVID and the stress of COVID has kind of been lifted. It's still there, of course. All the protocols are being followed. But there's something about waking up every morning and having the ocean and hearing the birds and knowing that you have activities every day and that you don't have to watch the news every single morning to see all the negative things that are going on. It's a super positive atmosphere here, and it's a very fun and uplifting atmosphere. We don't want to leave. We want to stay. But overall, you can tell that people are happy. And that's the main thing. It's the sense of happiness that each person is feeling. And I've been to many resorts. I've been traveling a long time, and traveling has a stressful component to it. It absolutely does. But honestly, since we've been here, that sense of happiness is spread across all the staff and all of the GMs.
Have you come across anyone feeling kind of nervous or weird, paranoid?
Nope.
Want to get too close to one another, that type of thing?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But people are keeping their distance. So if you're on the beach, for example, you're not like right next to each other. Everybody is spread out. They're spread out in the pools. They're spread out at the bars. They're spread out even at the activities. So you don't feel like you're on top of each other because everybody is maintaining that distance here, and they're respecting each other's boundaries and space.
So you feel that there is physical distance, even though the resort is at its capacity of 65 to 70%. That's great.
Yeah. The only time that it does seem a little bit more, not crowded, but where there's more people is at the evening entertainment. But the tables are still all spread out. So again, you're not sitting on top of each other. It's really only when you're walking around to get to your table.
And a question regarding, do you need a test coming home? A COVID
Yes.
test returning? Yeah.
Well, you do need a PCR test to come back into Canada. Good point. We were actually going to touch on that. So I'll tell you about my experience. So we actually had our PCR test done this morning. There is a lab that we have partnered with. They are on site here in the theater, and they do perform rapid antigen tests and also the PCR tests that are required to come back into Canada. So our flight is on Friday around noon. So we took our test this morning around 10. We'll have our results tomorrow around 9 or 10. So it takes about 24 hours to get the results. And you do pay for the tests right here on site, and everything's done right on site. The cost of the test, once we convert it, it's about $150 US. So, I mean, it's not a cheap test by any means. The PCR tests aren't, but it is a cost of traveling right now. And I should mention that they do charge you in Mexican pesos. So if you're paying with your credit card, you're paying in cash, or however you're paying for the test, it is charged in Mexican pesos. So I think it was about 2,600 Mexican pesos. It is actually better for us as Canadians to be charged in pesos because the exchange rate is better in pesos to Canadian than USD to Canadian.
And are you seeing a good mix of people from different countries at the resort?
Absolutely. So we're seeing a lot of people from France, from the UK. We're seeing a lot from Spain. Also Quebecois are here. A few from Ontario, not too many. There's a handful of Ontarians here, but a lot of American, a lot of European, and Quebec.
Right. If anyone else has a question, now is the time. Do all Caribbean Club Med destinations offer the PCR test on site? Not all of them. Some of them do, and the ones that we don't offer it on site, we've partnered with clinics in town, so it's hassle-free and you already know where to go and can make the appointments. But Cancun is one of the ones where we have partnered with a lab that's doing it right on site.
So we were going to do a live site inspection for you guys, but it just didn't work with the Wi-Fi points. So what we actually ended up doing yesterday, we took the day to film a virtual site inspection. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be getting a video link that's going to have a full site inspection of the entire property. So we take you through a couple of the rooms, we take you through all the major points that you do need to know about the resort, from the Agua Marina section, that's for families, also to our exclusive collection section, Jade. So that's right on the other side of us over here. And that's for anybody who's looking for that more intimate, private, exclusive experience when they're down here. We also show you all the main parts of the resort, and we show you the PCR testing and how that works as well. So lots of good content coming your way. So you'll be able to watch that and share it with anyone who wants to see the resort. You have a really good walkthrough of the property.
I don't see any other questions. Sam, you want to tell us what other activities you're going to do while you're there?
Yeah, so the main thing is going to be the snorkeling today. We did a lot of water activities yesterday. We're also going to do some night tennis. So the tennis is open until, I think, 10 o'clock at night. The lights are on until. So we're going to go play some tennis because it's just far too hot to do it right now. We're also going to go try the archery. We'll try the trapeze tomorrow. And then we're out of here on Friday. There's lots of other activities you can do too. There's Zumba classes that go on. There's yoga classes in the Yoga Palapa that overlook the lagoon. And also keep in mind that if you want to do any excursions, we do have an excursions desk here as well. You can take speedboat excursions out of here to go and see the mangroves. You can go and take a catamaran to Isla Mujeres, and then all the other, there's tons of different excursions that you can do in the area.
The speedboats are actually behind you right now.
Can you see them?
Can you explain what that is to everyone?
Okay, so the yellow speedboats that you see behind us, this is actually an excursion that's coming from the outside to snorkel the reef. These guys will have to have paid anywhere from a couple $100s per person to be on these speedboats to snorkel for maybe an hour. We include snorkeling. We have the reef right outside of the resort. So this is a major unique selling point for Club Med and for your clients who are looking for that snorkeling experience. So guys, you don't want to be on these boats going back and forth. You want to be able to just jump right off of the beach and be able to snorkel whenever you want. There's no time constraints. There's no additional charge for it. It's all here for you. So it's a major, major perk of coming to this property. Could you see them really? All the little yellow boats?
Yeah,
going
they're
by?
still going.
Oh, there's another one.
They literally come and go all day long. And like Sam was saying, these are people from other resorts that wanted to go snorkeling there and they have to pay for an excursion. Whereas our guests, and like Sam's doing when she's done on here, she can just grab the flippers and the snorkel and the mask from our snorkel shack, Palapa, and hop right in the water for free. So it's just an inclusion. Do you have an underwater camera? Are you gonna be taking pictures?
I do not have an underwater camera. I
Oh.
wish I did. But what I can do for you guys is that the video that we're putting together, we can probably get some footage to pop in there, and then you'll be able to see the reef.
All right. Well, oh, Maria, do you have another question?
There's a question in the chat talking about our resorts in Italy. Are they open now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Cefalù is
Cefalù is
open.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's closing soon, isn't it? It closes, I can't remember the exact month now, and everything keeps changing, but it does close annually at a certain time for a
In
month
October.
or two,
I think it's
yeah,
end of October.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But the ski resorts, are they closing soon in Italy?
For
In
the summer
Italy, there's
program,
just one, the Pregelato.
Yeah.
They usually close in September, I think. They
Yeah,
all
we
have
need-
kind of different opening and closing dates, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with them. But they usually, the ones that do stay open in the summer for the summer mountain experience, they usually close just at the end of summer with about a month and a half, 2 month turnover to switch over. Actually, no, that's right. They do close, I think, in September, because then they open again in December. So it's 2.5, almost 3 months of closure to switch over for the next season, which would be the winter season.
And Cefalù usually close the end of October and reopen the following year in April when the weather gets better.
you got it. Do you guys want to see a closer look of the ocean?
Sure, why not?
Who is going to say no to that?
Okay. So let's see if I can get you over there before I don't want to go too far so my Wi-Fi doesn't cut out. Okay. So here we go.
Where did you stash your husband? Is he down there?
I don't know.
It's at the pool,
actually.
probably.
Yeah, I wonder if I can flip my camera.
We started losing you
Yeah.
a bit there. I don't think you can go too much further. It's a little
Do you guys
choppy.
see it?
Yeah.
And then these are the marina buildings here. And then I don't know if you can see the Palapa that's down there, but that's Taco Arte. The hobby cats that are right there. And
I think you might need to step a little closer to the room. We're losing you a little bit.
okay.
All right.
There
Does
we
anyone
go.
have any other questions while we've got Sam here? We don't want to keep her too much longer because she needs to go snorkeling
Or have lunch.
or have lunch.
Mhm. But I'll be posting a lot of photos on the group page so you guys can see them. A lot of photos of the rooms. We did a full site inspection, so everything will be on there probably tonight. I'll have them on there.
Amazing.
All right.
Right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming through, but if you guys do have questions, we're going to post this video on the Facebook group as soon as I have converted it when we're done here. If you do have any follow-up questions for Sam, you can either, you can just post them on the Facebook group or post them right on the comments of this post once I get it up there. Or you can contact either myself, Maria, or Sam if you have any questions. So yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. And thank you, Sam, so much for taking the time to walk us through the experience. I'm hoping that you can find an underwater camera and take pictures of fishes for me.
Maybe I'll put my phone in a Ziploc bag. Bad idea. I'm joking.
Don't do
I'm
that.
Not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Do not do that.
Time to invest in a GoPro.
Yeah,
GoPro.
GoPro.
I should have
GoPro.
lent you mine. I have one. I could have lent it to you.
Get it?
I know. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sam. And thank you everyone for joining us. And again, if you do have any questions, you can contact any of us. And Sam, I hope you enjoy the rest of your time there and the weather holds up for you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us, and keep watching on our Facebook page. You'll have some more content on there soon.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Goodbye,
Bye, everyone.
Bye.